Welcome back once again. It's another edition of Prep Preview on CISN TV. I'm Trent Condon. As we get ready for Week 9 of the Iowa High School regular season, classes 5A down to 3A, the playoffs start tonight in classes 2A, 1A, and also the 8-player game. That's right, playoffs are here and the final week of the regular season. It happens every single year. Just how fast it goes, looking forward to it and looking forward to the final week and getting the playoffs started here. As we'll look later on here today at the RPI, the latest ranking system put in for the big class, what that means for these final regular season games in Class 5A. We'll get into that as well here, all presented to you by Fairway. But before that, let's take a look back at the week that was in Week 8 of the high school season, and what a week it was. Dowling Catholic against Valley, the big rivalry here in central Iowa, really in the state of Iowa. It's talked about every single year, and this one did not disappoint. Dowling Catholic comes roaring back in the football game to win it 31-27, the final. A touchdown by Brown late in the game. Carson Brown catches it. Valley had one more opportunity, but it was a nip-tuck game throughout, back and forth. Big plays on both sides. Kind of got off to an inauspicious start, though, on both sides. Some turnovers, some mistakes, just some plays you rarely see in the football game in Week 8 of the season. But you looked at this one. This is an all-timer. This is going to be ones that you're going to be bouncing your grandkids on your knee talking about just how great the 2021 edition of Valley Dowling was. And don't forget, we might be able to see that football game once again. Incredibly impressed by Mason Morrow, the quarterback for the Valley Tigers. He bounced back. He continues to play at an incredibly high level. Remember a year ago, Mason was playing defense for the Valley Tigers. Halfway through the season, the state deemed that Jake Rubley, their quarterback, was ineligible, who had transferred in for Colorado. He had to go from playing defense, moving over to offense. He was thrust into that quarterback spot and started to see some improvements. But the season that he has put together, the strong running game also by the Valley Tigers, a lot of great things there. But the story became Dowling Catholic as they come back in the fourth quarter to win this football game. And they did it with their fine junior quarterback, Jackson Smolik. Jackson had a collarbone injury back in Week 1 against Southeast Polk. That one went down to the wire. Southeast Polk won it 14-7 on the walk-off by Xavier Wamka, catching the Hail Mary to win that football game. He was lost. Smolik was in that game, broken collarbone. A lot of questions. How quickly was he going to be able to come back? He gets back for this week's game against Valley, and he played at a high level. You saw it right away. Came up firing. First play of the game, Dowling throws the football, showing that he was ready to go. And though there were some rusty moments and some rusty spots that you'd anticipate with a guy that was out 7 weeks, he ended up playing at an incredibly high level. The pass that he threw to Brown that proved to be the game winner, absolutely beautiful, hit him in stride, and they win it 31-27. Congratulations to Dowling Catholic. They continue to rise up the RPI rankings and putting themselves in a solid spot here now in the playoffs once again in 2021. We also had some other games on CISN TV for you last week. It was Waukee Northwest as they faced off against Ankeny. This one was all Hawks, though. The Hawks get it done 48-7. In a losing effort, though, Waukee Northwest maybe had the play of the season, a great catch in the back of the end zone. Unfortunately for Northwest, though, the Wolves' only score of the game. Ankeny off that loss of Valley, starting to flex their muscle a little bit more here as we get deeper onto the season. Ankeny, one of those teams you still got to be talking about. They're the defending champion in the big school class, and they got a great opportunity here in front of them. Our other game that we also had last week on CISN TV for you, it was Southeast Polk making their way up to Ankeny to take on the Centennial Jaguars. And once again, Southeast Polk does it with defense this week. 16-0 the final here. Really just that boa constrictor defense that they had made it difficult for Centennial to really get any kind of offense generated in that one as they win it 16-0. Southeast Polk starting to round into form here. Had a tight one a couple weeks ago over in Cedar Rapids against the Prairie Hawks. Nice victory for them against the Jaguars. Other scores, how about the Rail Splitters of Lincoln last week? 38-36, they win it against Ames. Tough spot for them. Knew they had to have a victory to give themselves a realistic shot to be in the playoffs, and the Southsiders win it 38-36. Some other scores from across central Iowa. Des Moines Roosevelt keeps their playoff hopes alive as they win it against a good Sioux City East team 47-26. The offense played at a high level in that one. Urbandale keeps doing it with that defense. Sam Anderson's squad continues to play great D. 35-0 a victory against Waukee in that matchup. A couple other scores from you from around Central Iowa. It was Johnston. Had a lead against undefeated Cedar Rapids Kennedy in that football game into the second half, but Kennedy comes back in the second half and wins it over the Dragons 24-10. Ottumwa winner over Des Moines North 36-28, the final in that one. That's a look around Class 5A, what we saw last week. Coming up next, we're going to look forward, get ready for Week 9 of the regular season. We'll get you some of the big matchups that we'll be keeping our eye on. Also, what we have for you coming up today here on CISN TV and Prep Preview, we'll take a look at the matchups and hear from the coaches of your game coming up this evening. A couple of good ones with playoff implications on the line coming up tonight here on CISN TV. In Ankeny, it'll be Des Moines Lincoln with a chance again. They will absolutely solidify themselves with a victory tonight if they can find a way to upset the Ankeny Hawks. And then Des Moines Roosevelt against Valley, the other matchup we have for you on CISN TV. Playoffs right around the corner in the big school classes. They start tonight in the small classes. It all gets going here next with Conversation with the Coach, brought to you by Elite Eye Care, when we continue on Prep Preview here on CISN TV.
We are ready. We've waited for this one for a long time. The anticipation, the excitement, the intensity. The teams are on the field looking to build on last week's success.
Construction doesn't need a play-by-play call, but it does need a team. Like the team at Graphite Construction Group. From concept to planning to building completion, our team is with you every step of the way. We've been building all over Iowa. Schools, offices, stadiums, critical services, and more. Talk with us. Tell us your vision, and you'll see and feel the difference of having the Graphite team with you every step, brick by brick, beam by beam, and play by play.
And the beam is up.
Mitch, this isn't a field goal.
You mean like it's a touchdown? Graphite Construction Group.
Graphite Construction Group. We build it better.
So Russ, what do you do in the off-season?
Mitch, we don't have an off-season.
Holt's Plumbing and Heating continues to be one of Central Iowa's fastest growing plumbing, heating, and cooling companies. I'm proud of what we've accomplished at Holt. Our team is leading the way in providing the latest in home comfort solutions, and we have fun doing it. Our passion is to be the clear first choice for all your plumbing, heating, cooling, and home service needs. And at the end of the day, a job well done and a happy customer means everything to us. Just one more reason why more and more Central Iowans are saying, let Holt handle that.
If you plan to buy a franchise business, or you're thinking of starting a new franchise, there's a lawyer right here in Central Iowa that can help you through the process. Rush Niggett, a Brick Gentry Law PC, has set up an affordable service to help individuals considering buying or starting a franchise business. Learn more online at rushonbusiness.com. Let Rush Niggett help you buy or start your franchise. Rush Niggett, the franchise lawyer with Brick Gentry Law PC. It's good to have Rush on your side. Welcome back once again. Prep Preview continues on CISN TV. I'm Trent Condon. Conversation with the Coach series as we hear from the coaches on both sides. Let's hear first from Jared Barnett. He's the head coach in year number 1 for Des Moines Roosevelt. Rough Riders trying to punch their ticket into the playoffs as they take on the Valley Tigers. It's Conversation with the Coach next here on CISN TV, brought to you by Elite Eye Care. Welcome back to Prep Preview on CISN TV. Trent Condon joined right now by the head coach of Roosevelt. He is Jared Barnett as the Rough Riders get ready for this Week 9 matchup against the Valley Tigers. Coach, is always good catching up with you. Congratulations on a great season. And now comes down to week number 9 as you guys fight for that playoff positioning and a big battle I know on your hands with Valley coming up this week.
That's right. Absolutely. And Trent, I appreciate you having me on. And we're really looking forward to the game coming up this week and excited about what our guys are going to put on the field.
Well, before we look at Valley and the matchup coming up tonight, let's take a look back at what you guys did last week against really talented Sioux City East squad. Year after year, they're going to be one of the best teams, certainly from the west side of the state. You guys explode in the fourth quarter, though. Put 27 up in the board. Take us back to last week and what you guys were able to accomplish.
Yeah, so we struggled a little bit up front early on in the game. Good thing is defense played really well. We had some mishaps on the special teams early on. They gave them some quick points early, but our guys never stopped fighting. Our defense played lights out almost the entire game. There's a couple drive here and there that looking back, maybe we were linebacker missed a gap or missed a tackle. They're a really talented football team, so you've got to expect them to make plays and things like that as well. So got down the stretch and they made a couple plays, but our guys never stopped fighting, and once we got up and once we got in our rhythm, our guys really never got out of it and just continued to push and continue to fight and had some really, really good success.
Jamison Patton, your quarterback, he throws for over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. So this is your first year as the head coach there, of course, at Roosevelt. You're a quarterback yourself. What has it been like being able to get to know Jamison and help him grow as a quarterback this season?
Yeah, it's been really good. Jamison is like we've talked about before. He's just a winner. He wants to do everything that he can to win the football game. But what we're getting to is we're developing a quarterback. He does really good job of going and being an athlete. And he wins us a lot of football games because he does go out and be an athlete. But as we're continuing to go through the year and he's continuing to gain this quarterback experience, he's developing into a really, really good quarterback, which, it kind of all came to fruition in this game against Sioux City East and put things together. He threw it really well in the pocket, threw it really well on the run, did a good job of managing the blitz and pressures and things like that and managing our offense. So it kind of all came together for him and you kind of see it click. And it was really good to see. And he felt it, we felt it, and that's why we were able to get rolling.
Bounce back after the loss the week before against Marshalltown. I know a lot of people are kind of leaving you guys for dead of a chance to get in the playoffs, but you bounce back and get that win against East last week. Now it's a tall task. The Valley Tigers, just how good this program is year in and year out, and they're going to be spitting some fire too after letting that one get away against Dowling last week. What have you seen as you've been scouting the Tigers this week?
Yeah, I mean, they do some really good things. And, you get to a program like Valley, you get to a program like Ankeny and Southeast Polk, and, these programs that have been around for a while, they're going to have athletes that come in and out. They're going to have their schemes are set in place and they just run them really, really well. You know what to expect from them, but that they're going to come out and play really well. So it's, you can scheme them up all you want to, but if your guys don't go out and execute, and if you don't make the proper adjustments, those things aren't going to matter. But quarterback throws it really well, does a really good job of staying in the pocket. I'd also say it's really good to have a gigantic tight end that's a Division I guy. But I would also say the running back is doing a really good job throughout the season. I feel like watching video, he's gotten better and better and better every time the ball gets into his hand. And then defensively, they've got a really good defensive line. Linebackers are probably the strong point of their defense, and they do a really good job of showing some different things, whether it's a blitz or showing different coverages and kind of bluffing you a little bit. And so they do a good job. And we'd be out of our mind to come into the game thinking that we're going to play a Valley team that's not ready to play, because they are. They're coming in and they'll always be ready to play, but especially coming off of the tough loss they just had, they're going to, like you said, they're going to be coming out and they're going to try to hit us in the mouth as quickly as they can and try to get up as fast as they can. So we got to make sure that we come out and execute and do our job and are executing the plan, and we'll be in good shape.
So when you look forward, of course, after the game, you guys will await your fate as it comes to the playoffs. So when you guys are obviously solidly in, and a loss, are you guys going to be grinding out the numbers? Are you going to be figuring it out, or just try to get some sleep, wake up and see the pairings when they come out 9 a.m.? What's the game plan after Friday night?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Waiting on RPI rankings to come out, probably the last 2 weeks, I haven't slept very much. following the game days. But, I think the biggest message to our guys and to our team and really within our program is, let's go win this game. Let's go take care of business, and then we control our own fate. We're solidly in if we go win. And then, if we lose, there's got to be a lot of things that go our way for us to be able to get in. But, let's not leave it up to that chance. Let's go take care of business and let's go do what we need to do and win the football game. And then, we don't have to worry about crunching numbers. We're just at this point, we're just trying to be looking at, how high of a seeding are we going to have and who are we going to be looking at next week.
With that, what would a playoff appearance mean for you? And you're number one with the Rough Rider program. And, I know you guys are pretty banged up right now. Most everybody is at the end of the season trying to get those numbers. And just what does a playoff berth mean for Roosevelt football if it does come this year?
It'd be huge for our program, especially coming off of the COVID year last year. Our guys not having that experience, missing really those, 7 or 8 games last year, not being able to play. But, our guys deserve it. They've fought their tails off. We've won some really good games this year. And, we let a game slip away that we shouldn't have let slip away. But, our team has continued to fight and continue to come out, and every week they're doing everything that we asked them to and going out and executing. So it means a lot for our program, but also for our school. I think it also means a lot for the DMPS district itself. We've got a lot of teams that are here. So, we've got athletes at each school. But I think it means a lot having a DMPS school in the playoffs that's earned a spot to get in there, which I know that Lincoln's done a really good job this year. And there's another team that's kind of sitting on that cusp of having that opportunity to get in. But, it means a lot, certainly, to be able to get in. And, as a team and as a program, that was one of our goals for this year, which I'm sure it's somebody's goal every year. But, it's not only getting to the playoffs, but it's going to win that first playoff game. Roosevelt was in the playoffs in 2019, and then went and played against Dowling and lost it there. But, going to the playoffs, first of all, that's a huge goal of ours. But then going and winning that first playoff game, that's the next step. So, we still have really everything that we want is still right there in front of us, just as long as we continue to take care of business.
Well, Coach, it's been fun watching your squad this year. Looking forward to another one against Valley. And hey, let's do it again before a playoff game. What do you say?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree completely. Yeah, let's. Like I said, I keep telling our guys, let's control our own destiny. Don't leave it up to computers. Don't leave it up to, if somebody's crunching the numbers with a calculator, don't leave it up to them. Leave it up to ourselves and go play and go win the football game. And let's spend Friday night celebrating and then getting some good and well-deserved rest and rest up our guys that are a little banged up, and let's get ready to go that following week.
With that, I threw a little shade at you last time we were talking. I like your Cyclones this week against Oklahoma State, though. You feeling confident?
I am. You know what? I am. I think kind of that, which, I think the Kansas win, it helps gain some confidence. But then last week going to beat a Kansas State team at Kansas State, that's huge for the program, being that, it's been however long it's been since we've, won not BK State, I guess we did last year, but, winning in Manhattan is huge. And I think it gives our guys a lot of momentum going into this Oklahoma State game. And again, Oklahoma State's a good football team as well. But I'm definitely gonna be cheering for the Cyclones this week, and I know that they'll go take care of business too. So hopefully get 2 wins on the weekend.
Something special about Iowa State, Oklahoma State, right? You remember that one 10 years ago, just a little bit.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. There's always that extra buzz around this game. So, looking for them to go take care of business like we did that night. So
should be good. Hey, Coach Barnett, best of luck out there against Valley and, of course, your Cyclones on Saturday. Thanks for joining us here.
Absolutely. Thanks, Trent. Thanks for having us.
Jared Barnett, the head coach of the Roosevelt Rough Riders. Conversation with the coach brought to you by Elite Eye Care. We'll be back with more here in a moment. For all of your and your family's eye care needs, make it Elite Eye Care. Dr. Ethan Heisman, Dr. Heidi Bell, and Dr. Kelsey Sawatsky provide expert eye care close to home. From eye exams to contact lenses, eyeglasses to sunglasses, make Elite Eye Care your local optometrist. Set up your next eye care appointment with Elite Eye Care, 9250 University Avenue in West Des Moines, and online at eyedoctordemoines.com.
Obsessively, relentlessly. That's what you can always expect, even when faced with the unexpected. It's a service we take seriously, providing comfort in the rain, tools to help you save, a helping hand along the way, and from a safe distance away. Delivering the energy you need while going the extra mile. Regardless of the times, our team remains committed to you.
Guys, are you looking for an excuse to watch football all weekend long? Then schedule your vasectomy with the Urology Center of Iowa. The Urology Center of Iowa offers nitrous during your vasectomy, cutting-edge technology to help you relax during your procedure. Make the call to 515-400-3550. That's 400-3550 or online at iowauro.com. Vasectomies with the Urology Center of Iowa, and tell them you heard it on KXNO.
Our team at D. Armand Ford Indianola are committed to giving you an exceptional ownership experience.
As a family-owned business, my dad and I are in the dealership every day to ensure you experience the D. Armand difference.
Our core values of hard work, honesty, trust, and integrity are what we build our business on.
Experience the difference at the all-new D. Armand Ford Indianola,
where you'll actually enjoy doing business.
The all-new D. Armand Ford Indianola, darmandford.com.
Hi, I'm Joe the Car Guy with Westside Auto. I'm excited to tell you about our new lifetime oil change plan. When you purchase our plan, you'll never have to pay for an oil change again. If you get a different car, simply transfer the plan over. If that car's oil needs are different than your original plan, just pay the difference. It couldn't be simpler. You won't have to worry about inflation or prices going up. Give us a call at Westside Auto Pros to get details on the lifetime oil change plan. And remember, when I say lifetime, I mean your lifetime, not just your car's.
Back with you, conversation with the coaches here on CISN TV as we talk to Gary Swenson, fresh off a tough one against Dowling Catholic last Friday night. They get ready for the regular season finale against Des Moines Roosevelt. Coach, as always, thanks for joining me. And you asked me for a play last week. I didn't come through. I apologize.
Yeah, well, I get a lot of suggestions every week, so that's okay.
Well, 31-27, one of the most epic games. It'll be remembered for a long time in the series. Of course, you guys on the short side of it, 31-27, but just a chance to reflect back at that a little bit. And though you come up with the L there, what a football game that was Friday night.
Yeah, it was a good game. I mean, I thought we let it get away. I thought, you know, when you score with a minute and 30 or 40 left, you should feel fairly confident. I did not at that time because we just had a hard time stopping them. It's been kind of the story of our season. We can't seem to get off the field on third down defensively. And, you know, if you could do it over, I'd burn some clock there at the end and wait and try and score and not leave them any clock left, because when Jackson Smolik came in the game, he's a good 7-on-7 guy, and we didn't heat him up at all. We couldn't get pressure on him. And if you let him stand back there, somebody's going to get open. It doesn't matter how many guys you're dropping into coverage. So I was pleased with the way we competed. I thought we did some good things offensively. And I think for a lot of the night, we made them work when we were out there on defense until the very end. They didn't really have a whole bunch of easy ones, but they're a good football team. So you've got to take when you have a shot like we did there at the end, you got to take advantage of it, but we weren't able to do that.
Gary, when you look at the squad this year, you mentioned your offense is playing at a really high level. Mason's done such a nice job, but the inability at times for the defense to get off the field on third down and come up with those stops. Is it something where you start to reevaluate a little bit, bringing more pressure, doing different things there to try to help out the defensive line? I know it's late in the season, but kind of looking forward to knowing what the ultimate goal is. have you guys done with the defensive staff trying to figure out what can we do to work and try to combat those struggles on third down?
Well, I can tell you it's a source of frustration for all of us. And, it comes down to your athletes. I mean, how capable are you at all 22 positions? And when we came into this year, as I told you a couple of weeks ago, we had lost all but one on defense, and our guys are, they're doing what they're coached to do. They're trying, and we're just not good enough against that caliber of a team to get the type of sudden change that you need every once in a while on defense. We haven't been able to turn the ball over, and I think our kids are well coached. I think they take coaching. Our defensive coaches are doing a great job, just like they always do. It kind of goes back to the question of, all of us that coach are much better coaches when we've got players that make us look good. And I really like this team. I think you look at the people that we have played, 7 of our 9 regular season opponents are in position to be in the playoffs at this time. And of those 7, I think 4 of them are in the RPI or top 8 or above. So we're playing good football compared to what we're capable of playing. And I think that we're still a good football team. And teams like Ankeny and Dowling, if we play them again, I think we'll be right there in close games again with them. It's just that you got to get over the hump and win those games sometimes.
Gary, another thing that I really was entertained by watching is Caden Hutch. I don't know how many linebackers you've had, certainly since you've been at Valley, that are listed at 5'6", but boy, that kid plays a lot bigger than his frame.
He's getting better. He was on running back a year ago, like his twin brother. He was kind of a fullback type guy, and we just felt we had to move some people around and get some of our better athletes on the field. He was one of them, and when I talked to him a year ago after the season, we talked about trying to play defense. You'd look at him and think, well, he probably should be a corner or something in the secondary. But where he's playing in our defense is kind of a leverage position, a forced player on defense. And he's doing a good job. He's not very long, but he does what he can and he's quick and tough. And I'm very happy with how he's played.
Short guys like to stay together, and he's one that's easy to root for out there with Caden Hutch. Well, Coach, let's turn our attention to this week. It's the regular season finale. It's Roosevelt. Of course, it all starts with the quarterback position. When you look at what they do offensively, Jamison Patton, one of the best athletes in the state of Iowa. What have you seen this week as you've been getting ready for the Rough Riders?
Well, everybody focuses on, they've got a lot of good players. I mean, he's the guy. I mean, he never comes off the field. He's a good quarterback. He can throw it. I know he's not being recruited as a quarterback, but as a high school quarterback in this state, he'd be right at the top of everybody's list, mentioned with a bunch of the other guys we've seen. So, he's a dual threat guy. He can run and throw, and then he's a very good safety on defense. So he's kind of that do-it-all guy for them. But I like a lot of their players. We're entering this game at 6-2. They're 5-3. It's not like if you look at the track record, without question, we've played a more difficult schedule. I know that, and you can look at the RPI points that reflects that. I think they're sitting at 14 and we're at 3. But starting 2 years ago when they made the playoffs, they really, the coach Mitch Moore left and Coach Barnett's come in and done a good job. They're a good football team. So we're going to have to play well. And sometimes coming off the Dowling game, we've had issues, a little bit of a hangover or letdown, whether you win or lose. And I'm not so sure that's the case this year with it being in week 8 and now we're heading into week 9, but you never know. And we've tried really hard in practice this week to amp things up a little bit and raise everybody's level of concern about where we're at. So I think we'll play better defensively, and hopefully we can keep moving the ball on offense and scoring some points.
Well, Coach, I know in the old days when you guys have to wait up till 1, 2, sometimes 3 in the morning to get those playoff pairings, it's different. So who's the mathematician on staff that is going to be calculating that RPI and trying to figure out who you guys will get in the first round?
We've got one, but we have to keep that under wraps. I don't want him to. No, you can crunch those numbers all you want. And I used to try to do that even before the RPI. You'd try and figure out what Boone was thinking and who they might match you up with. And it's a waste of time. The good thing now is I'm not driving anywhere Friday night to exchange films. Within minutes of knowing who you're going to play, you can upload every film of every game that everybody's played, more film than you could watch in a lifetime. So you can spend as much or little time in preparation as you want. And the fact that we play on Fridays now and you can go a whole week of prep, just like your regular season, instead of turning around playing next Wednesday, everything about this is so much better than it used to be. It creates a routine that you can stay in all the way through, and kids like routine, and this allows you and your coaches to keep that. So we're excited to be in the playoffs. We really don't know who we're going to play because it comes down to there's probably 4 or 5 swing games in the state this year that are going to bounce people up and down in the RPI, and we're just not going to waste time by trying to figure out who that might be.
Well, Coach, going to be a fun one out there on the field. Looking forward to it, Roosevelt and Valley, as we finish up the regular season. We say it every year, it goes fast, and here we are, week 9 with the playoffs around the corner.
We're looking forward to it. Thanks for having me today.
Thanks. That's Gary Swenson, the head coach of the Valley Tigers. Conversation with the coach brought to you by Elite Eye Care. We'll be back with more here in a moment. For all of your and your family's eye care needs, make it Elite Eye Care. Dr. Ethan Heisman, Dr. Heidi Bell, and Dr. Kelsey Sawatsky provide expert eye care close to home. From eye exams to contact lenses, eyeglasses to sunglasses, make Elite Eye Care your local optometrist. Set up your next eye care appointment with Elite Eye Care, 9250 University Avenue in West Des Moines, and online at eyedoctordesmoines.com.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and you've probably noticed there's shortages on most everything in the market today. Well, Heat and Glow has helped us out this year, and they are focusing their energy on their gas fireplace inserts. So if you've got a drafty old wood-burning fireplace and you want to get it retrofitted into a beautiful, high-efficient gas fireplace, come see us. We will have product to sell you.
Heat and Glow gas fireplace insert from Fireplace Superstore, 109th and Douglas in Urbandale, just west of Homeacres.
Why do businesses succeed? The Better Business Bureau sees the traits of successful businesses every day. It's not easy, but it is simple. The BBB fosters trust between Iowa businesses and consumers.
Visit bbb.org.
Welcome back once again. Prep Preview continues on CISN TV. I'm Trent Condon here with you as we get ready for Week 9 of the regular season in Class 5A. Playoffs also start tonight in the small school classes. We'll get into that here just a little bit. We got 2 games for you coming up tonight on CISN TV. Myself and the incomparable Dar Danielson will have the call as the Valley Tigers welcome in the Rough Riders from Des Moines Roosevelt. Roosevelt comes in with a 5-3 record. The Tigers 6-2. Both teams looking to get into the playoffs. Rough Riders would punch their ticket with a victory here tonight. Valley has a chance not just to host a game, but maybe get one of the top seeds if they get the victory tonight against the Rough Riders. Talked about the running game for Valley earlier in the program here today. And you got to figure that's where they're going to start. Get back to their basics, the bread and butter, that 2-headed running back that they have. Very impressive what they've been able to do on the ground, and also really the development of the Valley offensive line has come a long ways from the beginning of the season to where they are today. They've given Mason Morrow a whole lot of time to be able to go out there and make plays at the quarterback position. Valley feels like offensively really trending in a positive direction. The question still remains, though, what's happening defensively? And that's where Des Moines Roosevelt, they want to get this one into a track meet. They want to get up and down the field. They want to get Jamison Patton, their great quarterback, out on the edges. Let him use his elite athleticism that he has. Get outside, roll the pocket out. And talking to Coach Barnett earlier here, he mentioned that he has got so much better with those throws on the run. That's something that is a big impactful play for an athletic quarterback like Patton is, and that's what they're going to try to do. Move that pocket around, get some plays up the field, and try to find that defensive backfield, see if they can find some soft spots in the Valley D. In our other matchup tonight, another team trying to fight for their playoff lives. It's the Rail Splitters from Des Moines Lincoln. They make the trek up to Ankeny to take on the Hawks. Now, Coach OJ has done a great job with Lincoln, getting them in this spot, giving them an opportunity to get into the playoffs. And it's kind of that old school mentality that you're thinking of when you think of Des Moines Lincoln football. It's running the football. It's a lot of different guys that'll touch it. It's motion. It's eye candy, those kind of things. And remember, go back to week 2 when Ankeny Centennial upset Ankeny. They did it with a great defensive effort, yes, but also big offensive plays in a very similar type of running game that you're going to see out at Des Moines Lincoln tonight. The question remains for them, can the Rail Splitters, both offensively and defensively up front, hold up against Ankeny? After Ankeny lost that game a couple of weeks ago against Valley, they have really tightened up in a big way. That defense has gone to another level, returned 8 starters from a year ago in the state championship team, and they're out looking for a revenge tour here late in the season as they get ready for the playoffs. We'll have that one for you. Paul Yeager and the crew tonight, as it'll be Ankeny in their matchup against Des Moines Lincoln. Catch both those games here on CISN TV. Finally mention also the RPI. Let's take one final look at it. Wait till tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. That's when they'll release the playoff pairings and the final RPI. You'll get a look at it here. Here's our final look at the Week 8 playoff standings. Southeast Polk, the number 1 team. They check in with that 7-1 record. Undefeated Cedar Rapids Kennedy, down last week against Johnston, came back and made it 8 in a row as they come in at number 2. The Valley Tigers fall to 3 after being number 1 last week after their loss to Dowling. Cedar Rapids Prairie 4, Lindmar 5. There's Urbandale at 7-1. They are number 6. Ankeny at 7, followed by Pleasant Valley, Iowa City, City High, and the Dowling Catholic Maroons now up to number 10 in the latest ranking. Cedar Falls is number 11. Dubuque Senior is your number 12 team. Waukee Northwest at 13, followed by Des Moines Roosevelt, Des Moines Lincoln, and the final team in is Bettendorf. We talked about Ames with an opportunity to get in. Davenport North plays Bettendorf. Ankeny Centennial at number 19. They're going to need some help along with Dubuque Hempstead. And there's Johnston at number 21. Final look at the RPI numbers as we get ready for kickoff of your game. Coming up next here on CISN TV, myself, Trent Condon, and Dar Danielson will bring you the call. The Valley Tigers looking to get back in winning ways after falling last week. They match up against the Rough Riders of Roosevelt, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. It's our Central Iowa Game of the Week on CISN TV. Valley facing off against Roosevelt next